Professor of Music at South Carolina State University. And even though my accent is what it is, I'm definitely not from the South. I'm mostly from Ontario, which is probably why I talk the way I do. You're going to be hearing things today which nobody's heard. They are inaccessible, unknown, and unheard. I have been spending almost the last 2 decades of my life editing and transcribing the music of Haiti, the classical music of Haiti, and even putting those words together, most people would not go there. Classical music in Haiti, yeah, there is. So after having finished working through the string quartets and trios and the chamber music, the art songs, the mass, a mass that combines a Gregorian chant and voodoo, a cantata, and even a Haitian opera, where I ended up singing some of the roles and I was cast as a voodoo god. The Haitians accepted me. I decided I would turn my attention to a repertoire I did not know, which was the piano music of Haiti. And this proved to be a rather challenging thing because I didn't know there was so much. So I contacted my colleague in Montreal, Claude Dauphin, and I asked him, I needed permission to go to the archives of the University of Montreal to do this. And permission was granted, and I spent 2 days photographing the repertoire that I found. The vast majority is in manuscript, hence it is inaccessible. It must be good. I photographed it all. I went home, I bought a new computer, I bought a new software program, and started working on this stuff 4 years ago, and I'm not finished. And in the process of doing that, I discovered some remarkably beautiful things, which Haitians don't know, which the musical choir culture does not know. And I've just had to get out of my house and say, look at the things I've got. They're absolutely gorgeous pieces. And the musicians to whom I presented it were all convinced that Émile-Meringue loves this stuff. And it's like all this treasure which nobody knows about. And so you'll be hearing things today that nobody, believe me, nobody has heard yet. The first composer we're dealing with is Edmond Saintonge. My friend Claude Dauphin maintains that, in fact, with him, the classical music of Haiti begins. I only want to draw your attention to the fact that he uses hyphens in his titles. And I think it's rather significant because you see what we have here is a composer who takes the musical forms of Europe, but also takes the spiritual culture of Haiti and puts them together, and nothing is sacrificed. It's all balanced out. And the quality is amazing. And I'll say that because Saintonge will have to convince you. There we go. since the death of the composer, that piece has been played. It's wonderful, isn't it? Now, I must admit I've been remiss. We have a very distinguished individual with us this afternoon. I'd like to welcome in our presence the Honorable Evelyn Sanguinetti, the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Illinois. And Evelyn, I've got to tell it. I've got to tell everybody. She was my voice student. That's how I know her. And she's a very well-trained musician, having given both a vocal recital and a piano recital for her bachelor's in music. And then she decided, nah, not good enough. Became a lawyer. You are in very good hands, people. Anyway, moving on. What is next, anyway? Lamothe, okay. If you look to the cover of your program, that is in fact a picture of Ludovic Lamothe. Okay? Unidentified, but we knew that that's who he is. A prodigious composer of piano music for piano. I don't know of anything else he did. I'm not acquainted with any songs, chamber music. I just have this enormous quantity of his piano music that his sons put into an album. And I got that album, and I've been working on this music for a long time. A lot of problems with this music. There are two issues that have to be established. What are the right notes? And how do you play them? And Marianne and I were both discussing, there is no, it seems rather, no, it's not obvious. There is no performance practice. We don't know how to play this music. And we're discovering as we play how to play it. Because it's like, not as though we can say, well, Beethoven sonatas, we have a whole generation of composers, or I should say performers, who show us how to do it, and Beethoven himself who tells us how. Edmond Saintonge is dead and gone. And we're discovering how to play this. And we have to figure out what works. And so this is in fact a recreation not just of the scores, but of how to play the music itself, which maybe is not apparent to you, but it's apparent to us. How do you make this stuff work? Anyway, Ludovic Lamothe, a prodigious composer of mostly dance music. There are some concert pieces, but even his dance pieces are really more like concert pieces, which you say you sit and listen to. A very accomplished composer. In his lifetime, he was referred to as the Black Chopin. So, enough said. Let's listen to these dances by Ludovic Lamothe.
getting quietly emotional over here.
None of you would have expected this, would you? This quality of music that is coming out of Haiti. Such charm, such poetry, all of it hidden from our view for so long. The next composer is Carmen Brouard, who is unlike anybody in that nation. Her style is uniquely her own. Her summa, her greatest work, is the Il Magique Haiti, which is a suite of 5 compositions which celebrates her friends and her nation. It is a summation of all that she can do compositionally, pianistically, harmonically, melodically. It's the whole summation of her art. She also wrote a 3-movement Negro sonata, which ends with a formidable toccata voodooesque. And on top of that, she ended up writing a sonata for 2 pianos, which is quite an amazing piece. But we're not going to be looking at all that thunderous sort of music today. We're going to be looking at one of her 5 nocturnes. While Carmen likes to celebrate her country, she is not a folklorist. She will say this is a voodoo piece, and there'll be absolutely no voodoo in it. What she does is that she takes that heritage and she builds on it, which is to say she hears the sounds of that country, but she has her own language and ways of expressing it. So there are other Haitian composers, in fact, when we get to Desamours, the next one further on. Yes, he will in fact quote tunes, which everybody knows. But Carmen knows the heritage, and she builds on that heritage. And it's a very unique voice. And enough said, let's listen to Carmen. Edmond Saintonge, and these are three brief compositions called Page Intime, Intimate Pages. And when I came across them, I said, well, this is very much like Robert Schumann. Robert Schumann was very much prone to writing compositions about himself, the autobiographical, the programmatic, and also in a very brief form. And then I went through the pieces and I said, well, this is not Schumann, this is very much a different composer, but the mentality is sort of there. Now here's the thing. This is the first performance of it since his death. as I said, this is the first time these pieces have been heard in more than a century. The last is, in fact, a sort of fun piece. I think of it as a dessert. This is the only composer of this evening who, in fact, is still with us. That is Émile Desamours. He is actually a church musician in Haiti, I believe at a Baptist church, I think. And he writes a lot of choral music, but his piano compositions are amazingly accomplished. And what he does is he likes to celebrate the popular culture of the country. So he will say, I'm going to rewrite this piece. He has and in fact, we could do an entire evening of just piano music for 4 hands and 2 pianos by Haitian composers. There is so much of it. But today we're going to listen to the first movement of his Sonate Folklorique, I should say, sur les airs populaires of Haiti. And the whole series of 3 movements is full of popular tunes that he likes, and he likes to gather these up and present them. His first movement is called Femme. He likes women, and he likes to celebrate them as well. Now I should like to introduce Mr. Joel Cohen. I believe he's a representative of Crossing Borders. I've been asked to introduce him, so he's got some no doubt wise words, and then I will say one final comment before we finish.
Well, I have to say one thing, Dr. Grenier, you're a tough act to follow. So.
No, that's a tough act to follow.
Well, I want to thank both of you, really. This is fantastic. So please, everyone, we have a... The mission of Crossing Borders has been to present music from underrepresented cultures. That's been one of the biggest debates in our organization is what does underrepresented mean? Does it mean undiscovered? You open Chopin's drawer and realize, oh my God, there's 5 pieces no one's ever seen before, or from another culture. So this is a concert much like that. We've also had concerts that involve music from other cultures that are more close to that other culture. We've had Egyptian music, we've had Ugandan music. But I think the bottom line for me, and one of the reasons why I joined, is because I felt that in a culture right now where, unfortunately, difference is seen as dangerous or seen as the enemy, it's important for us to understand that difference can also be interesting and stimulating. And I'm hoping that this, while the music is familiar in sound, but yet not familiar because no one's ever heard it before, or no one could hear it before because the composers were persecuted or had to leave their country. So I hope that was the main reason why I joined Crossing Borders, and I hope that you are enjoying this as well. And you're more than welcome to go on our website, which I believe is in the program, crossingbordersmusic.com. Please check out our next events. I believe we'll be playing this as well again on June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Yes. This coming Friday. Wow. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming, and thank you again.
To add emphasis to this particular comment, I'd like to call your attention to an interesting debate that took place at the end of the Russo-Japanese War. The Japanese delegate, in order to negotiate the peace, turned to his Russian counterpart and said, "We sent you our silks and our porcelains, and you considered us barbarians. We defeat you in battle, and you think of us as civilized." Well, the prospect of Haitians defeating anybody in battle is not particularly imminent, but we do have evidence of their silks and porcelains. And what we, I think, have demonstrated this today is, in fact, the sensibility of the Haitian people can reach the highest levels of expression. And they don't even know it, because they've never heard this. And they have a whole history of this. And in that sense, this is why I'm sort of pained by my own research. I said, this has got to leave me. This has got to be known. The people have to understand the quality of what we have here, and it is exceptional and beautiful. Saintonge was writing this music a century ago, and today we had to wait to hear it. There's something wrong about that. So we're trying to cure that, and I'm trying to help with that now. By the end of the summer, I expect I'll send all of my research back to Montreal, at which point they will administer it to those people who would be interested. And then maybe this can actually be further advanced. Obviously, tell your friends and gather numerously for next Friday, June 2nd, for this concert coming up.
Also a free concert.
Also a free concert, thank you. Anyway, I've had my say, and my say was essentially as a pedestal in order to demonstrate the quality of, I think, what these are really quite wonderful pieces. As I said, Desamours popularizes the urban culture of his country. He is a delight to listen to, and I will step out of the way. Now I'm going to go back to South Carolina and sit in front of my computer and finish this. I have more to do. But at least now you know what I'm dealing with, some absolutely wonderful things. You know, and this has to be known. It's got to go away from me. Okay, anyway, I thank you again, Marianne. You did a fabulous job. I'm sitting here weeping quietly and enjoying it with you.
Thank you so much.